February the 26th, 2012. Liverpool Football Club and Cardiff City go head-to-head at Wembley. The prize, the League Cup trophy. The winners will have their names written in the history books, but it's the history these two clubs have, which is a rather interesting story itself. This will be the 30th occasion that the two clubs have met competitively, and 90 years since the very first time the two faced each other on the pitch. We start back in 1954. On the 17th of April, Cardiff travelled to Anfield. Bluebirds keeper Ronnie Howes fractured his thumb on a goalpost making a save. He had to be replaced by an outfield player, Al Sherwood, for the rest of the match. He made a double save from a penalty taken by Billy Liddell. City were 1-0 winners, and as a result, Liverpool were more or less certain of relegation to Division 2. Happier times were to follow for Liverpool though. The 30th of November 1959 will always be remembered as the date Bill Shankly took to the managerial hot seat. Less than 3 weeks later, he would take charge of his very first game for the Reds. The visitors to Anfield that day, Cardiff City. Unfortunately for the manager, the scoreline was 4-0. We all know what the great man went on to achieve with Liverpool Football Club, but quite a subdued start for Shanks against the Bluebirds. It would be another 47 years before these two clubs will come together again competitively. Not until 2007 would Liverpool welcome Cardiff City to Anfield. Let's rewind back a few years though, because whilst 1922 was the first year Cardiff City travelled to Anfield as the opposition, 1 year previous they did actually take to the turf in an FA Cup semi-final. That was the 19th of March 1921. The Bluebirds weren't the only special visitors to Anfield that day. King George V and Queen Mary arrived just before half-time after watching the Grand National at Aintree. Let's fast forward into the new millennium now, because although these two clubs weren't meeting competitively, Liverpool will go on to enhance their relationship with Cardiff in other ways. In 2001, Gerard Houllier brought his team here to the Millennium Stadium. Wembley was being rebuilt, and this was the new home for domestic finals. On February the 25th, the Reds beat Birmingham on penalties in the League Cup final, and then would of course return just a matter of months later to land the FA Cup. 2 years on, Liverpool would return, and the Millennium Stadium would once again prove a happy home. A 2-0 win against Manchester United in the League Cup final. And of course, having been the winners of the first final to be played in Cardiff, it was only fitting the Reds would be the last, known as the Gerrard Final of 2006. Back to the two clubs themselves now, and in 2007 Cardiff City once again travelled across the Severn Bridge and made their way to Merseyside. On that occasion, a very significant former Red was within their ranks. Robbie Fowler moved there after his second stint on Merseyside, and on the 31st of October 2007 took to the hallowed Anfield turf in a League Cup tie, which they lost 2-1. Fowler isn't the only former Red to have connections with the Welsh outfit. John Toshack was transferred from Cardiff in November 1970. He had previously signed for Cardiff as a 16-year-old and became the youngest ever player to play in a league match for the club, aged 16 years and 236 days old. And of course, who could forget our very own Craig Bellamy, a lifelong Cardiff City fan who once sat in this very dressing room. And so that brings us up to the present day. A new chapter in the Liverpool-Cardiff City story will be written. Let's hope it's a happy ending for the Reds.